Let's talk about the constraints of creativity. There are none. There's none. Creativity starts the day you're born, and it expires the day you expire. Everything in between that, all the years you're on the planet, every day that you're gifted is an opportunity for creativity. And with inspiration coming from everywhere, from nature and friends and family and music and books and all the arts, you can do it. You spend your life telling yourself that you can't. I'm not creative. I can't dance. I can't play an instrument. I can't write. All those I can'ts are myths we tell ourselves. And creativity is yours to be had. You just got to choose it. You have to get over the lies you've been telling yourself and the hardwiring you got as a young child that tell yourself you can't. And start telling yourself you can, because you can. And it doesn't matter what age. You know, like I said, creativity doesn't have an expiration date. It expires the day you expire. It's your born on date is the day you're born. And from that time forward, when your little baby brain is taking in all it can glean and thinking whatever baby thoughts there are, it's creating something. And all the input given to you throughout your childhood and your young formative years, they're going to help tell you you can or you can't. The bottom line is it's up for you to tell yourself that you can. So start creating. I was always creative, but I never had a real deep focus, unfortunately. And that's a topic for another conversation that we'll have later. But I tried a lot of things. I think I was a little too social and a little too unfocused to really get great at any of it, but I got fairly good at some of it. And I sadly kept telling myself that I couldn't. So started writing songs in my 20s and continue to do that today, and that's something I've held on to for most of my adult life. But I always told myself, I can't play guitar. I was a drummer, and I was an okay drummer, but I always told myself I could never play guitar, that these fingers wouldn't do what they have to do. So I didn't even pick up a guitar until I was in my 40s, probably about 42. And now I play guitar fairly well for somebody that's never played guitar. I sound pretty good. For real accomplished guitar players, I'm pretty remedial, and that's just honesty. But the good news is it brings me joy pretty much every day, and it allows my songwriting to get better. It frees my mind from things that might be troubling it. And because of that, because I stopped telling myself that I couldn't, and I finally said, well, why am I telling myself that? Why can't I? I started doing it, and now I do it. And now it's a thing, a skill, and a joy that I can experience every day. So stop telling yourself you can't do it, because you can. And it's never too late to start. Like I said, creativity has a born-on date, the day you're born, and you can do it the rest of your life. So it's never too late to get started. Your chance didn't pass you. You didn't have to write that book by the time you're in your 30s. You know, you didn't have to make it big in your 20s. I mean, I love the fact that Gary Vee pushes this a lot, that you can be creative in your 60s. I'm 63, and I feel like I'm getting more creative all the time. Some of that is because I have more time to do it, but I still work a job. I still get up and try to do something every day. I'm in the process now of creating this YouTube environment, this channel, and this community that I hope sticks around and grows and becomes something. I hope you're part of that. So I'd encourage you to just get out and start doing it. Like I said, I started writing songs in my 20s. I continued to do it today. I'm still writing songs. I'm still figuring it out as I go, but I'm doing it. So I've lived long enough to know what loss feels like and what real joy feels like. And I can bring all of those experiences into the things I create, whether that's art, visual art like painting or leatherwork. I can do all those things. The bottom line for me with creativity is it just needs to be honest. It needs to be truthful, it needs to be honest, and it needs to be a real expression of you and what you want to do. Not for anybody else to put their subjective opinions on. Just disregard all that. Does it make you happy? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel accomplished? It's all that matters. That's the only thing that matters. That's what art is for. It's for our soul. You know, if you can make money at it, great. If you can share it with others, all the better. I do think art needs to be experienced and shared to be fully realized. So try to get it out there any way you can. A long time ago, I had a buddy that is a seriously accomplished songwriter tell me that I had to share my art, that I had an obligation to share my songs. And the truth is, I had no desire to. I didn't really feel the need to record them. I didn't feel the need to try to go out and play them live. I was just really interested in the act of creating. And that's still what turns me on more than anything else. But, his thoughts on me having an obligation to do it really resonated. And, I started reading other books and other authors, and I heard very similar comments that came up all the time, that, your poetry, your music, your visual art, it all needs to be shared to be fully realized. It has to be experienced by somebody other than yourself, even if the act of creating it is the greatest experience of all. So don't be afraid. Get out there and do it. Especially, when you're young and you get more opportunity to do those things and to share them, the more comfortable you get. So start early. Quit telling yourself you can't. Start telling yourself you can. Do that in your teens and your 20s, and you'll be much further along, farther in your life. So, if you're getting a little older like I am, the truth is I still feel really good for my age. I'm a pretty active guy, and the numbers are kind of mind-boggling to me, but what's it matter? It's just a number. And the truth is, today is the day I've been given. I'm not promised one tomorrow. The rest in the past don't matter. I'm here today, and what am I going to do with it? How am I going to treat this one special, precious day? And I'm going to do something. I'm going to create something. Even if it's just a moment for myself, I'm going to create it. And that gives me inspiration to create more and do it in the days down the road that I'm given. So, and don't worry if you're starting a little late. Frank McCourt, he didn't finish Angela's Ashes till he was 66 years old. Leonard Cohen didn't really have a hit with Hallelujah until he was in his 50s. And on and on and on. Colonel Sanders didn't start till he was in his 60s. And there's a million success stories. Like Gary Vee says, I may very well be able to create for another 30 plus years. As long as my brain works, even if my body becomes injured or infirmed, I can keep creating. And there's nothing that makes you feel more alive than creating something and putting it out in the world. So I encourage you to create every day as much as you can and make it a practice, not just something that you wait for, the inspiration, waiting for it to show up. It's great when it does, and it's great when that lightning strikes and you get out the pen and you start writing, that's awesome. But show up, be there, and invite the muse as often as you can, and make it a practice. I think there's a real quiet grief in not trying and in telling yourself you can't. I've got I'm a really good starter, like I bet a lot of us are. And I have a lot of things unfinished that I'm not feeling great about. They're still out there and I can keep coming back to them. And it's become a goal of mine recently to really get back to them. And I'm trying. I've got a book of poetry that's really close to being finished. I hope people read it. I hope it gets out there, but let's be honest, it's not gonna make me rich. It's not gonna get on the New York Times bestseller list, but I will have finished it. I will have accomplished the original goal of putting out a full collection of poetry in a book. And that's really cool. That's exciting. That's gonna live way beyond me. And I'll share some of that with you in the coming days. But, I think the biggest point I'm trying to make, other than it's not too late to be creative, is that there's joy in creativity. No matter how messy, no matter how unplanned or how many attempts, there's joy in the process. And there's a real joy in the outcome as well. So if you're live, if you're trying, if you're reaching for it, and if you're showing up every day, that's enough. So just do it. Open up a fresh page and write a line on the top of it. If you don't know what to write, let's just start with the prompt. It's never too late because ... That's your prompt. Grab that. It's never too late because, fill in the rest of that line. Take that line and turn it into a paragraph. If you can do it and turn it into an essay or a letter to yourself in under 1,000 words, that's going to get you started. So take that prompt and do something with it. I hope you do. I hope that you, if not that prompt, find one of your own. Go outside and look at nature. And the first thing you see, be it a leaf or a worm or a bird, write about it. And if writing isn't your thing, take that image, that thought, and paint about it, or sculpt about it. Take that inspiration and go with it. So get out and create something. The biggest points to make are you're not too old. It's never, ever too late. You're right on time. You're right where you're supposed to be right now. And it's your moment. Every moment is your moment to get out and do what you want to do. So I'm wishing you well, my friends. I really hope that you found some value in this and that you want to go ahead and do something with it. Keep writing, keep listening. Never forget that it's still your place and time to do whatever it is you want to do. Anything you've ever told yourself that you can't do, I promise you, you can do it. So please do. And if you found any value in this, like and subscribe and hang out for more. And please, in the comments, leave me a note about what you're working on today, about the thing you've always wanted to work on that you haven't yet. And do your best. And as always, peace, my friends. Take care.